slow starts that you guys have had in particular?
Yeah, I think we had those answers going into it. And it's third downs, manageable third downs on offense. Defensively, it's just matching the speed. We do a great job in the second half, but we got to do a better job of matching the speed, especially if the team is in tempo, than to start the ball games and get off the field on third down.
Right. And then, of course, if you made first downs, that helps the defense, et cetera. I wanted to ask you about Ronald Jones. We're going to have a chance to talk to him later today. And, he's obviously a big focal point of your offense already. If you don't fall behind, you can use him more. But as you get into this last month of the season, potentially maybe playing on the road in the playoffs in cold weather, whatever, how much more of an identity does he need to sort of get you started, and help everything by running the football up front?
Yeah, I think definitely he's having a heck of a year. And when things are good, he's got 20 touches, we just got to stay in the ball games earlier and not fall behind. But yeah, that is what we've tried to do every week. But, I thought in the Kansas City game, we did a good job of staying in the game plan, keeping him going and getting back in the ball game. But definitely he is where we start.
Yeah. Thanks.
You bet.
All right, we'll go over to Greg Allman.
Hey, Bruce, I wanted to ask you about this Vikings defense. It seems like what they do best is in the high leverage situations. I think they're 8th on third down or 6th on third down, 3rd in the red zone, and 2nd in goal to go situations. I know that's an area where you guys have probably maybe taken a step back offensively. How important is that even more than usual on Sunday?
It's huge. It's huge. And they've done a good job on third down, getting teams in a little bit longer situations. They've got a great blitz package. Mike Zimmer is one of the best there is. One of the guys I respect the most in this business. So they have a heck of a third down package, and they're really good. They know what they're doing in the red zone. And we played them a couple of times in Arizona, and they're very, very solid and know what they're doing. There's not really anything you're going to show them formationally that they don't know what to do.
Bruce, you had talked right before the bye about how important it was to have players, everybody, be careful not to let the virus beat you in the off week. It looks like things have gone well. Were you pleased with the discipline in the off week?
Yeah, I'm knocking on. It's not really wood. I think it's plastic, but we still got a couple of days to go to make sure, over the weekend. But so far, so good. I think our guys have done a great job all season of following the protocols.
Thanks, Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
I will go to Ira Kaufman.
Hey, Bruce. Look, Bruce, you're anything but naive. You know the math in terms of winning the division. You'd have to win 4. They got to lose 4. So, Bruce, in terms of the wild card, what's your message to the team? And it seems to me you were on an 0-5 team in Pittsburgh that did pretty darn well as a wild card. So just get into the dance, right, Bruce?
It's just getting in the dance. We've been a 1 seed and won it. We've been a 6 seed and won it. So this year, especially with no fans, the home field advantage is really going to be out the window. It's just going to be lining up and playing in empty stadiums. So it's that what's been a big part of the playoffs in the past is home field advantage. I don't think it's going to be an advantage this year. So it's just a matter of getting in.
And then, of course, Bruce, you've got Brady's pedigree in the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, you could see, the practice had a different feel already. Guys were excited. It was half a run, half a walk through practice, but it's the excitement that I wanted to feel when we got back together.
All right, we're going to go over to Scott Reynolds.
Hey, Bruce, I wanted to ask you about a couple of the Vikings' weapons. Dalvin Cook, like you were saying about Rojo, it starts with Rojo. It starts with Dalvin Cook, obviously in Minnesota, and then the rookie wide receiver Jefferson, which you've seen on tape from both of those players.
Dynamic. Dalvin's one of the best backs, if arguably the best back in the league right now, and they feature him. He's a great zone runner. He's a downhill runner, one cut, hard tackle. It's going to be a great challenge defensively. Jefferson he takes the top off the coverage. We've seen a bunch of those guys this year, but don't ever forget Thielen because he's really the go-to guy.
Yeah. And then on the defensive side, Harrison Smith's been a Pro Bowler and does a lot for them in their blitz package. Had a big interception last week. Can you just speak to him and how do you game plan around him? And when you look at Brady's interceptions, he's thrown the majority of those to the safety position. I understand that's where the ball is going down the middle for those interceptions, but just how much of a concern he is for you.
Yeah, I think not as much coverage wise as you got to know when he's blitzing, because he's a heck of a blitzer and he disguises. He's up on the line. He's back in cover 2. He does a great job disguising coverages. And then when he's blitzing, he does a great job of starting back, then coming. So whoever's got him in protection has got to be very, very alert to where he is at all times.
Thank you, Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to go to Jenna Lane.
Hey, Coach. Now that you've had some time off to kind of re-examine, the way you've done things in your earlier games and stuff, and I know obviously you're game planning for Minnesota, but do you have a better idea of your identity as an offense, especially with all these new pieces?
Yeah, none of them are really new anymore. So it's basically it always starts with the running game, and the receivers have been together now. So and Tom's I think very, very comfortable this week. So the identity is again being able to do a lot of different things with a lot of different people.
And when you have the ability to be multiple like that, do you ever run the risk of because guys are doing so many different things that maybe they're not getting as many reps in one area, and sometimes you risk not having as crisp of execution?
No, because you get very predictable that way. You cannot be predictable in the NFL. That's a sure sign for defeat.
Thank you, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we're going to go to Sarah Walsh.
Hey, Bruce, I want to touch on something you just said about, Tom looked very, very comfortable this week. I know there's been times this season where you said these guys haven't had consistency. They haven't continuity. Is there a point, and I don't know if it's this week, that you've looked at them or looked at Tom and been like, oh, now it's there, or you're seeing that clicking?
I think we'll see more on Sunday. It was a good rest for him, but also going back and looking at a lot of different things and looking at the way this team plays and the way we've played teams like them. So it's still a work in progress, that part of it is. But again, I feel very comfortable that everybody's on the same page right now.
And then just to follow up with that, one thing you had said earlier, I know you've been asked repeatedly about the slow starts, and if there was an easy answer, obviously you would have found it. But when you move forward looking at that, is there anything, with the late games, I know you altered schedules, is there anything you now looking forward at practice say we can implement this to maybe kickstart that?
I don't think so. We always talk about starting fast in practices and finishing strong. We have periods and kicking in between, so it's the first half, second half. And we talk about those things all the time. We emphasize third down. I think it's a matter of playing on Sunday. Practicing at night helps if you're going to play at night, I think. But again, it's just a matter of matching that speed in the first 10 minutes of the game.
Thanks, Bruce.
All right, we're going to go to Kevin O'Donnell.
Hey, Bruce, through 12 games, you guys have had the toughest, one of the toughest schedules in the league in terms of strength of schedule. You now face the final 4 games of teams that don't have a winning record. Is there any danger in that? Is there anything you have to remind the guys of maybe not looking past this and trying to see too many victories in these final 4?
No, because Minnesota's 1 game behind us. And they'll have the tiebreaker. So this is a huge game. We ain't looking behind nobody. That's for sure.
And what do you think you picked up just during this past week about maybe the first 12 games that you want to tweak?
Well, I looked at a lot of things we were doing well, and then a few things that were not. And I think we talked about the starts and playing great in the second half. We're going to match that in the first half. We did that early in the season, and then we kind of fell off.
We have time for a few more. We're going to go to Joey Knight.
Can you just speak to the addition of Ted Larson and the depth he brings for you?
Yeah, Ted started a couple of years for us in Arizona, and willing to go on the practice squad. With losing AQ, it's another veteran interior player for the long haul, and a guy we really trust and kind of knows the system.
And Jaden Mickens had contributed for you. That took some people by surprise. Can you speak to that decision?
Well, right now, I can't dress 7 receivers on Sunday. and Kenyon Barner does a heck of a job as a kick returner also. So rather than having 7 receivers and 3 backs, I'd rather have 4 running backs. And but Mick's done a heck of a job for us, yeah.
All right, we're going to close out with one question from Greg Allman and one from Rick Stroud.
Bruce, as it relates to Barner, you wouldn't see him really getting on the field on offense unless in the case of injury. He's on there for returns primarily?
No, he's a solid running back. He's got good hands and he can do a lot of things. He's got great speed. So, yeah, I wouldn't say that at all.
Okay. Thanks, Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll finish with a question.
Bruce, I know Chris Godwin had a procedure to get those pins taken out of his finger. Can you speak to, he only missed the 1 game and actually was really productive in the 4, just his toughness and also if there's any update. We saw Jamal Dean, I guess, which is a good news.
Yeah, Jamal was out there. It was still should be finishing up the protocol, hopefully. Yeah, there's no chart for the toughness of Chris Godwin. I mean, if it goes to 10, throw it away and start over again because the dude just, plays. He had that mitt on his hand to protect his fingers. He's catching balls in practice with that on. He's amazing. And, I can't say no. He's one of the toughest guys that I've coached.
Thanks.
All right, that's all for today. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.